Far-right parties and neo-Nazi groups across Europe are attempting to use the UN Migration Pact to further their own nasty agenda. They are trying to deceive people in terms of the content of the agreement by claiming, for example, that it will be limiting free speech or increase migration. This is not true. The Global Compact for Safe, Orderly and Regular Migration is not a legally binding agreement, but includes 23 objectives which countries are asked to sign up to. The main lie being spouted by the far right is that it will limit free speech and ban any criticism of migration. In fact, the only comment is under Objective 17, where it says to enact, implement or maintain legislation that penalises hate crimes and aggravated hate crimes targeting migrants. Hate crime legislation already exists in most countries to protect ethnic and religious minorities from attack. This legislation is extremely important considering the dark history of Europe and the atrocities committed during the Second World War. The pact also states that no public funding should be available for publications which promote xenophobia and racism. This means an end to the state funding of racist political publications, which exists in some countries, but not in Ireland. And why is it that those who say they are not racist are worried about not being able to promote racism and hatred? Another lie which the far right are promoting is that this agreement will promote further migration. In actual fact, one of the major objectives is number 11, which states a commitment to manage our national borders in a coordinated manner, and further committed to implement border management policies that respect national sovereignty, the rule of law, etc. In addition, objective number 2 is to minimise the adverse drivers and structural factors that compel people to leave their country of origin. This actually means reducing migration, not increasing it. The far right and racists always attempt to portray migration as a negative, when in fact numerous studies show that inward migration is always a positive for the welcoming country. Migrants are net contributors to their new home country because the cost of education and care has already been paid by their country of origin. Migrants also provide diversity of culture, which is extremely positive. Human beings have always migrated in search of food, shelter and work. Millions of Irish emigrants have made massive contributions to their new home countries, just as Ireland has benefited from migrants coming here over the past decades. The UN Migration Pact will do very little to improve conditions for migrants, and with the prospects of climate change-caused migration increasing, more radical action is needed to ensure the safety and well-being of all people. We also need to stand up to racism and challenge the far right who spread lies and misinformation in order to further their own nasty, hate-filled agenda.